The film begins with a boy named Roman, who visits a chemical substance dealer to buy some substances for a party. It's his birthday today, and he has planned a grand celebration. After purchasing the substances, Roman gets into his dad's luxury car. While driving, he starts smoking and casually throws the cigarette inside the car. But moments later, he realizes, "Oh my God, I made a huge mistake. I threw the cigarette inside the car." Panicked, he quickly stops the car, gets out, and attempts to throw the cigarette away. At that moment, a girl comes running and collides with his car. She has bandages wrapped around her head and, looking terrified, immediately gets into Romain's car. The girl appears strange, with dirty clothes, as if she had escaped from a lab or a hospital. She seems extremely frightened and is acting very nervously. Along with that, her behavior was becoming increasingly strange. Romain asked her, "What happened to you?" But she was in no condition to respond and just kept crying. Trying to help, Romain dialed the emergency number. However, he noticed that the girl became even more terrified at the mention of the police. Seeing this, he decided to hang up the call. Romain then resolved to drop the girl somewhere safe, but the problem was that he didn't know where to take her. On top of that, the girl wasn't saying anything, she just kept crying. With no other option, Romain drove off in the car. He tried talking to her occasionally, hoping to get some response, but it was all in vain. After a while, the girl takes out a recorder. Inside the recorder, some commandos are heard saying, "The subject we were experimenting on, a girl named C39, has run away. She is 25 years old." The girl was trying to convey to Romain that they were talking about her, meaning she was indeed part of an experiment. But of course, Romain didn't understand any of it. Suddenly, the girl began to act wildly, doing crazy things. She starts hitting her head in the car with strange signs. She also had a knife with which she started attacking herself. Although Romain tries to stop her, but she did not stop. In fact, she falls on him and puts her blood on Romain, and then she falls on the seat and dies. See, Romain was completely scared, because he did not understand anything that what happened to me on my birthday. And what should I do now? He tries to pick her up, but obviously there was no use. Now somehow, he saves himself from others and brings his car to his garage. Once again, he checks the girl, but she does not get up. Romain's anxiety makes the situation worse, because first of all, he himself was soaked in blood. On top of that, there is a dead body in his car, which is very dangerous matter. He had to go to the party. And what happened to him? Anyway, now taking care of himself, he went to take a bath first. After taking a bath, he keeps cursing himself that I wish I had not stopped the car, then all this would not have happened to me today. Then his dad called, who was asking Romain if the car and everything is fine, so that we can understand how much his dad loves the car. And because of this, when Romain threw a cigarette in the car, he immediately stopped the car, and all this happened to him. Now here, he makes his dad show that the car is absolutely fine, and he hung up the phone. He started checking the car, but the girl was missing from there, which meant that she was not dead. She just fainted because she was injured at that time, and this was going to shock a lot. How was she alive even after being so injured? And how did she have so much strength left in her that she even ran away? We will find out the answer to this later. And thinking about this, Romain also started looking for her, but she was nowhere to be found. That's why someone comes to the door. When Romain went to check, there was his friend, whose name was Anna. And because it was Romain's birthday, Anna wanted to spend time with him so that he would feel good. But because of the fear, he stopped Anna and began to find the girl. And Anna went out to smoke. Romain felt that she is angry, so he started to call her near him. She tells him that I came to take you for the party, but you're behaving strangely. She begins to doubt Romain. Why is he behaving like this? Romain makes her understand and is about to send her. Meanwhile, the rest of the friends come to take him, but he sent Anna with them by saying, "I am feeling a bit unwell and will come later." He goes inside and begins to find the girl in the CCTV cameras, but he doesn't find, and he comes out where his friends haven't yet gone. So Romain begins to go with them. Romain was behaving strangely on the way, and he didn't feel anything well even after coming to the party. Only the girl was roaming in his mind. Anna didn't understand anything that what is happening. Then his other friends asked him, "Roman? What happened?" But he came to a room without responding to them. Anna went to the washroom with her friend. After a while, when she leaves, Roman comes to her friend. That is, Roman was deceiving Anna. Meanwhile, Anna's friend sees that Roman's eyes are shining, from which she scared a lot and tells Roman about it. He began to see his eyes in the mirror and began to move his neck madly. At the same time, his dad calls and asks him that the alarm of the house rang, and I see someone roaming there in the camera footage. I am not at home, so you go and check the matter. Meanwhile, Romain left for the house. At this time, we notice Romain's shining eyes, which indicates that something troublesome has happened to him. When he came out, his friend forced him to dance at the party. He got quite angry and began to beat his friend. Anna's friend comes and stops the fights, but he begins to beat her too, and comes home after taking a bicycle. When he turns off the alarm, his dad calls, "Has any thief gone to the house? Has anything been stolen from the house?" Romain told him that nothing has been stolen, but his dad begins to laugh strangely. It means something strange has happened to him. Now, Romain turned off the phone and came in. There he finds the same recorder that the girl had, on which the experiment was going on in the lab. The recording was going on in it. Romain sees the bloodstains everywhere in the house. Following them, he came to the bathtub. There he sees the same girl sitting in the tub, attacking her with the knife constantly. Romain instantly takes the knife and throws it. Then he begins to be afraid. Then the girl takes out a device from her. Seeing this, Romain was quite shocked. Romain doesn't find anything right, so he begins to run. Romain sees the commandos from the window, who have done experiments on the girl and have come here to find her. They begin to take the girl, but they soon realize that someone else is inside the house. Upon realizing that they know about her, Romain starts to panic and begins running. He starts acting wildly, laughing loudly for no reason. He sits on the ground, first biting himself, then licking the ground, and starts crawling backward. Seeing this bizarre behavior, the commandos take him with them. Meanwhile, Anna calls Romain and starts talking to him. However, it is not Romain who answers, but the commandos. Anna, unaware of this, continues speaking to them as if they are Romain. She asks, "How did you hit that boy so hard?" "His neck bone is broken." The commandos then ask her, "Where are you going?" She answers and sits in a taxi. But soon, her behavior also starts changing. She begins moving her neck in the same way Romain did when he first started acting strange. Her condition begins to worsen as well. Anna receives a call from her friend who tells her, "Nothing good is happening to me. Strange things are happening." Suddenly, she ends the call while crying. Then, Anna notices that someone is following them. It turns out to be the commandos. The driver stops the taxi and gets out to confront them, asking, "Why are you following us?" But the commandos kill the driver. Anna becomes terrified and starts driving the taxi herself. However, she soon stops the taxi at a location and begins walking strangely on the road. The commandos continue to chase her. When Anna was running, they began to shoot her constantly, but surprisingly, she didn't stop, just kept on running. She goes to a club and asks people to help her and call the police. She goes to the washroom and begins to look at her strangely and then cries to see her injury. Meanwhile, she receives a call from Anna's friend, who was calling her to meet her at the station. "I have a bike to run." Meanwhile, commandos come to the club and shoot the people here. Seeing this, Anna jumps the window and begins to go to the address which her friend has told her. Then we see her shiny eyes, and she begins to behave madly. She begins to beat a girl on the way. She beats her badly and puts her blood on her. She moves ahead. She begins to run after stealing a bicycle from a boy. The boy stops her, but she kills him and throws him into a pool. Before going, she says, "I'm sorry, I didn't do it on purpose. Something strange has happened to me, and I am compelled to do this." Then we see that the siren is ringing throughout the whole city. It means this kind of strange things are happening to the majority of people in the city. Anna soon reaches her friend and makes her sit on the bike after seeing her condition. She begins to put her blood on her strangely. Seeing this, Anna's friend throws her from the bike. She sees that Anna is behaving like animals, so she runs away from her. Meanwhile, she receives a call from her mom. She tells her that strange things are happening in the city, and my wheelchair is stuck in one place. Hearing this, she immediately runs to save her mom. But we see that Anna constantly chases her. She was running too fast like a bike. It means she was too fast. This was quite surprising. Now her friend reaches the house and gets into her house by a lift. But in the middle of all this, the lift suddenly stops. This scares Anna's friend. Just then, she hears Anna's voice outside, attacking and eating the people in the building. The sound of their screams and cries were heard. Among those voices, she hears a commando's voice saying that a virus, an infection, has spread in the city. If you haven't been infected or exposed to it, we might still save you. The lift resumes, and she reaches her floor. But when she gets home, she sees Anna eating her mother. She had eaten her entire head. Horrified, Anna's friend runs away from there. A commando wearing a mask comes to her. He examines her eyes, trying to check if she has been infected. She was not infected right now. So the commando unveils her mask, that is, she is a girl. She asks her to stop there and goes to kill Anna. Anna attacks her, but the commando kills her. She shoots her head many times, making her head in a terrible condition. Obviously, it makes the commando infected. Because Anna's blood touched her feet, it means if the blood of an infected person touches the skin of a normal person, which makes him infected too, it means that this virus is quite dangerous and spreads too fast. The infected person becomes quite dangerous after being infected. Now, the commando tells Anna's friend, if you didn't go to an infected person, you can be escaped from being infected. But we know that she went to Romain. His blood was mixed with her, and she will be infected too. She didn't tell the commando this, because she didn't get this all by herself. The commando tells her to be at a place with dark, because the infected people are often attracted by the light. The she gives her the gun and asks her to run, because I can harm you after becoming infected after a while. Then the commando tells her to put her face aside, and then she shoots herself to end her own life. This makes it clear why the commandos were killing anyone showing signs of blood on infected people. They didn't want the virus to spread throughout the city and cause widespread destruction. We know that this has already been done. Anna's friend begins to be infected. Her behavior changes. She starts laughing strangely, like a mad person. Meanwhile, we hear the destruction unfolding throughout the entire city. At this point, we realize that the first girl, the initial subject of the experiment, known as C39, was the source of the virus. She first infected Romain by putting her blood on him. From there, Romain came into contact with his friends, spreading the infection further. Eventually, the entire city was consumed by it. The commandos were conducting this experiment under the government's orders, aiming to create super-fast soldiers who would be extremely powerful. They had designed their subject in such a way that anyone who came into contact with his blood would also become super-fast and powerful. However, alongside this seemingly beneficial aspect, a horrible result emerged. While they became powerful, due to a negative side effect, they turned extremely dangerous. They became so infected that they attacked and ate others. As the infection spread everywhere, curing it seemed nearly impossible. Is it possible for the commandos to find a solution to this and prevent the virus from spreading further? What do you think? Please share your opinion on this. The film ends with